Welcome to the More You Look podcast. Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the More You Look podcast. My name is Femi Anthony. Today I have a very, very special guest with me in the studio. She is actually a cousin of mine, my favorite cousin. Sorry, everyone else in the family. We grew up together, spent our childhood together. But today she's on the show to talk about mental health because, that is predominantly what our show is about. And today I have with me mental health advocate, Counsellor Yemi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How have you been?
Great.
I've been looking forward to doing this for a while now because I know that you're very busy and you don't live in the UK. So, I was very happy when you told me that you were coming for holidays and I said, I have to lock you down and, squeeze an episode out of you. And I'm glad you are finally here today. So let's get right to it. What are some of the things you think that we should leave behind in 2021?
So I would say self-doubt and comparison. I say that because we do ourselves a lot of harm when we see ourselves less of the capacity that we have within us. So a lot of people can actually do a lot of things, but
Self-doubt.
they look at themselves, they look at their size, at their physical size, they look at their achievement, they look at what they think they can do or they've done before, and they just use that as a yardstick for themselves to say.
Or sometimes you think they look at others and think, this person can't do it.
That's why I say also comparison. Because, I mean, with the advent of social media, technology, internet, so you just see somebody doing well, posting seemingly doing well pictures, and sharing so much about how they are living in luxury, they are achieving this, they're traveling here and there, and then you just look at yourself like, I said it, there's nothing much I can do in my life. I'm just going to be here in this corner. I'm just going to, be this small. I'm just going to have this small circle of friends. I'm just going to be. Don't do that to yourself in 2022. Come with an open mind. Come with, a part of you that is interested in seeing the bigger side of you. That other side of you that you carry, that you probably are not even aware of. You need to let yourself be open to opportunities, because when you even confine yourself to those, to that small physical size of yours that you could see with only your two eyes, then you shorten the span of opportunity that can come across your way. So, people, let's get into 2022 with a lot of I can do spirit. With
the Obama spirit. Yes, we can.
And I can also do good. In all of the I can do, you want to tell yourself I can do good.
That's the serious version for me.
I can do good.
One thing I want us to leave behind in 2021
I'm gonna do good
is normalize. That word normalize. I never want to hear that word again. Every time, everywhere you go, let's normalize. Let's normalize. Please, I don't want to hear that word again in my life. Please, don't normalize anything. You get me? So, what's another thing you think we should leave behind in 2021?
When you stop comparing yourself, it extends to you comparing your friends also. So don't compare your friend with another group of people. So if these people can do this, why are my friends not doing this? That comparison is vast, it's relative. Just tell yourself, this is me, and I have the capacity to do more. I have the capacity to do good. I have the capacity to do large things, to go to bigger places, to achieve larger things. These are my friends. They are also striving to get better. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Don't compare your friends with anyone. Don't compare your parents. Some kids are like, oh, my friend's father bought him this, my friend's father bought that, and then
look at what your mates are doing.
The ripple effect is toxic, people. Let's not do that.
Because
I can do good, I will do good, and I will grow bigger in 2022. Let's do that.
Because, I read something on Twitter some time ago that look at what your mates are doing, that it has sent a lot of people into debts, hospital,
depression,
and even death. Because you think you are failing someone
in your own path,
in your own way. So let's get on with it.
Wait. Before you go,
Okay.
I feel like
Speak up.
I feel like Nigerian parents, you understand, they kind of train you that way from the start. Like, look at what your mates are doing. Look at the scores they are getting in school. Look at how well they are performing, or look at how well dressed they are, and all that. Then when you grow older, they start telling you,
Yeah.
the same people that taught you to look at what your friends are doing are telling you, don't look at their success.
they must have seen that some kids got their fingers burnt, and so they are repented themselves to now say that actually, just calm down. Your time will come. Your own this will come. Your own that will come. They must have seen that. Oh, maybe
But
this
let's be honest. Let's be honest. I think we got that from the fact that we are Nigerians. We're Africans first, and we're Nigerians. I think that has to do more with our cultural background, because it's still going on now.
Yeah.
The average Nigerian mother will use you as a comparison. They want to make sure that you are married because this person's daughter is married. You have to be a doctor because this person's son is a doctor. It's still happening today.
But that's changing.
I think it's up to our generation.
Rapidly.
Yeah.
It's changing, and it's changing rapidly because they are saying for themselves that okay, this person's son came out of school with even after a master's degree, and it says
they went to work in
thank you
Yoruba degree. Went to work
thank
in
you,
Wema
Dad.
Bank.
This is for you. Thank you, Mom. This is for you. Now I want to go into what I really want to go into. I want to do me, and they feel ashamed for a moment, like, oh, so you mean
all this while you've been living for us?
You don't want to use this to work?
Live your life, innit?
Are you kidding me? What do you not want to do? And the child says, I want to do music, or I want to go into aviation, I want to be a pilot. And the child now starts a new chat. So they feel, so it's changing really rapidly. Parents are now more attentive now. Like, okay, what is it you actually want to do, would like to do for the rest of your life? What are you passionate about? So the questions is changing. Also the talk is changing. Parents are more interested. It's what I can say is it's changing rapidly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is counselling? And I want you to sort of explain to us, because even I myself, I know that I've made use of therapists before in the past, and I want people to understand what exactly is the meaning. What's counselling? What's the difference between professional and non-professional counselor?
So, counselling is a form of talk therapy. When I say talk therapy, it's a zone. It's a non-judgmental zone. It's a
Safe
highly
space.
confidential zone with a skilled professional. This person you are coming to talk to is learned in the area of counseling, is an expert in some of the things you're going to be bringing to the table, and is going to be working by the ethics of the profession. Counseling is a form of talk therapy. Sometimes it goes beyond talk therapy. That's where we have psychotherapists, where we do deeper methods, right? To get the person to recover from some sort of issues, deep-seated issues.
Or trauma.
Right. So, non-professional counseling is, a father to a child. Friends sharing, from their well of knowledge to say, oh, I tried this before, I did this before, this was how I went about it, this was how I, it's like a clergy, your pastor, your imam, your this and that,
Yeah.
pointing you to some sort of direction.
More like advice, really.
But that's non-professional.
Yeah.
They are not trained.
This is a good segue, because I was coming, because when you said that, some people will say, oh, I have wonderful friends, we're very close, they are like my therapy, my wife, my husband is like my therapy. Like, do you think, how good a thing do you think this is, and do you think this actually helps?
So that would take me to the myth of counseling. So some people think that, oh, I've got fantastic friends, I can share with them, and I'm sure they will advise me. Counseling is not advising. A counselor does not advise people, does not advise patients. Counseling is way deeper than that, So friends are fantastic to have. Parents are amazing, because they are older, and most of the time they have this wisdom and they have this knowledge, to sometimes guide you, to go in a good direction. However, they are not trained for the job. So they can fail while advising you. They can mislead you innocently, without knowing. They are not trained for the job. A pastor is trained to read the Bible, interpret it to you, and help you as regards to how it concerns your life. Yeah. But a pastor is not a doctor. Like a counselor also cannot be a working pastor, because that's not
that's not the field, professional field.
So a counselor can be a Christian and can share some things from the Bible if he's dealing with like a Christian patient who insists that, no, I want you to use the word of God to engage me. Oh, fine, a Christian counselor can do that, but a professional counselor has his own place. It's an office.
One thing I've always thought about, sorry I'm cutting you short, one thing I've always thought about is sometimes people come to you with problems just as friends, and they open their hearts to you because they say problem shared is half solved. But here is my question to you. Sometimes people will tell you something that you never expected, to the point where you're like, this is so heavy. As a counselor and as a professional, do you think there can ever be an instance where somebody has shared something about their trauma or something that is so heavy that it affects you?
Yeah, so we call that counter transference in counseling. So it just jack you up, like, ooh, you that what you just said now resonates with me, but you can't say that out.
How?
As a professional, your ethics demands that you remain as calm as possible. Okay. You give your patient the confidence that I can handle it. Bring it on. Tell me everything. Even when you are like, what did you just say? No. Or you want to cry, like, oh, that's too much. But you that's the ethic of the job. You have to swallow it. You have to be strong for them, because at that point they are vulnerable. They are completely vulnerable, and they are sharing what they probably would not have said to anyone. They are sharing with you, and because you have promised them that they have come to a zone where, okay, it's I work with you, you work with me, period. So you don't want to scare them. You don't want to, even when you're scared yourself, but you have to be on top of your job.
Let me give you an example. You're a counselor now. Sky has come to you to say, I've been really having some really terrible nightmares, and I know that the reason is because I keep 30 people, I cut off their head, I use them for money ritual, I kill my mother and father, I use them for ritual, and there's a small baby that lives near our house, I kidnap that baby, and they tell you all those things. We used to be able to just sit down and think and offer, professional advice and not think, what?
Well,
it'd be like saying,
for some counselors who are about 70% biased at that time, at that moment, they might not be able to handle it. And sometimes you get someone like, I may have to refer you to a colleague of mine who is, and then you just push the person, knowing at that time that they can't handle such patients.
So you professionals get affected too.
When you can, yes. And that's why we have our own therapist.
Aha.
So but for a well knowledgeable person, you don't do that. You take it up, because the motive of the counselor is to help people, help them throughout that suffering, that pain, that situation they are. So you want to ask such person, so tell me more. Tell me what was the first experience of killing all those people? What was the first? You want to go through. You want to pierce through that person to know why. Okay, how did you get here?
Okay, now I want to know why. why did you go into counselling?
Okay,
Tell us.
So,
because the reason why I said that is most people don't know, but you're my cousin. We grew up together, and you never. Well, back in those days when we were younger, you didn't strike me as somebody that would go into that field, because you had a lot of ijogbo, But seeing you now, flourishing, you're blossoming into this amazing professional. I know you've helped quite a few people in your line of work. I just want to know why. Why did you choose, to go into that profession?
So if we look back, sometimes in 2003, I just became concerned for children. It was so strong on my mind. I just became concerned. I didn't even know what happened at that time.
No, my sister. Living in Nigeria will do that to you.
So I just was concerned for kids, like, maybe we started hearing about rape issue or something. I don't know what it was that struck at that time, but I just know that it just became so, so strong and so heavy on my mind. Like, oh, this kid needs to know that this is how I should be careful. This is how I should take care of myself. This is how I can, fight out of, it's some sort of sexual danger. So I started gathering kids in their 20s, between 3 and 10 years old children. I gathered them together. I began teaching them sex education at that time. Some of them are all grown, as tall and bulky as you now, and they are, they have those experiences. How all of those teachings help them. I have one of them who came later to say, do you know that I escaped an auntie who wanted to rape me? This was like a 7-8-year-old boy at that time, who at the next outreach we were having said, auntie, and auntie wanted to open a wrapper for me. She wanted to grab my hand. She wanted to lock the door, and I was able, with what you taught us, I ran out of, it's all grown now. He still have all of those experiences, in his memory. So that was how it started for me. I started with the kids and gradually with the teenagers. By 2005, I started with the teenagers, and I was teaching them sex education, empowerment, what they could start doing for themselves to help them earn, even as little as they were, and gradually I saw that, there was more to this thing for me. It was giving me such fulfillment, seeing those liberation and those empowerment those children were having. So I thought there must be a way around this thing. I don't just want to be, talking out of the little experience.
You got to gain more experience.
So I then, started my journey of education. So for me, it was more about being compassionate about people. Like, I hope this person know what to do, how to be safe at this point. How do you get out of this danger? How do you protect yourself? I think that was what led me to it proper.
Nice. Like that, you know what? It's something you can't live in Lagos and not be concerned about children, because everywhere you walk, you see a child hawking wares in middle of traffic, and they are so vulnerable.
Yeah.
So now, my next question to you is, because I want the people watching us to understand that you are a professional, you know your craft. Can you tell us what is your training and certification?
So at that time, I started my my trainings from LASU.
That's Lagos State University.
Yeah, Lagos State University, and I studied directly human communication. So, and then afterwards, I went to Oluwayemi's Daystar Leadership Academy. I did the basic certification for leaders, and I did the advanced certification for leadership. And afterwards, I then went for a proper counseling and psychotherapy school. I did my first basic training with them, Attitude Development International, ADI, in Allen Avenue, Lagos. They are affiliated to British Association of Counselors and Psychotherapists.
Wonderful.
So I did my basic and advanced training in counseling and psychotherapy there, and it was an eye-opening experience for me. I thought I knew how to counsel people. No. It was when I got there that I grew in knowing what it means to be a counselor.
You gained the experience needed.
I was engaged properly. Why do you even want to be a counselor? That was a starting point for me, and then it went on and on and on like that. It blew my mind. I thought I had an idea what I was going to. No, it blew my mind, and it sets me on the path where I have clients all over the world. Cool. And I'm glad I'm doing this because even sometimes when it looks like, oh no, not too many clients, the little ones you
have, purpose, you can see them flourishing.
You feel that sense of fulfillment, when you see them doing.
Now, I've said the day that I managed to get a counselor, a mental health person to this show, is the day we will broach this subject, because we've talked about it before, Sky and myself, about this. What do you think about this misconception people have about the clergy, like pastors, imam, all these people? Because one thing is, as Africans, and I don't mean Africans at home, we mean Africans all over the world, we have this, personally, I think it's very annoying, where the average African will listen to their pastor before listening to anything else. Before they make, there are some people who go to their pastors, to their imams, to their clergy for advice on major life decisions that they can take by themselves. And I think they have this misconception of the role of these people. So what do you say to this, really?
I mean, the first point is what you said. Our culture as Africans degenerated a couple of things, that are supposed to be to our advancement in today's world. Our culture is deep and is local. Is deep, is not innovative. Is deep, is not enlightening in any way. So, and if you remember very well, Africans, we started by having traditional rulers, people who rule over us. So I think we are used to that style of people lording over us, and it's found its way into religious setting when Christianity also was brought into Africa and into Nigeria. We literally worship these people, especially because they were of other colors. We worship them. We reference them, and they still do it till today.
Of course.
And the extreme is what we now have, where people transfer. I mean, people are intellectually lazy now. They don't even want to think. If it's possible for somebody to come to you and just dump all their issues on you, they want you to do the thinking for them, to solve, to analyze, to evaluate for them. Now, the place of a counselor, and we are gradually getting there in Africa, for people to seek the attention of therapists, counselors, and all of that. We are getting there. It's slow, but we are getting
I think that's because there's this stigma that if you're talking to a therapist, definitely something is wrong with you. So people in droves would rather go to their clergy, their pastors, their imam, their head of whatever group they belong to, because they absolutely trust whatever they say, thinking, oh, since he's a man of God, he knows it all. Since he's a prophet, he knows it all. Oh, since he's a clergy, he knows it all. So they would rather go with their real life, day-to-day practical issues, go to the pastor, and the pastor will not tell them, this is not my role. I can only pray with you. I can support you spiritually, but you have to see a therapist. So many people do it too. They'll go to a pastor and say, there's this woman I'm seeing, she's fair-skinned, and the other one is dark-skinned. Pray. And then the pastor will pray and say, God has told me that is that dark-skinned one that you have to go with.
There's marriage counseling, there's financial counseling, there's mental health that comes with trauma, depression, grief, all of these things. The role of a pastor is to preach and encourage you with the word of God, and it stops there. The role of a pastor is to pray with you, hold you in the hand, pray with you, share some scriptures, shares what he believes in with you, and say, we have faith. But the role of a counselor is to open your eyes, help you see your direction yourself, help you see the decision you've been making in the past yourself, help you see the decision you are open to making
Wonderful.
for yourself.
Wonderful.
Help you see the path you should walk and why you should walk in it. The decision is a self-determined workshop. You work with this person to make your own decision, but they help you, they guide you right by you to make those right decisions that you would live with for the rest of your life. A pastor would make that decision for you. He will not tell you.
He will make that decision based on the scripture.
He will make the decision for you. You will not make it for yourself. He will make the decision biased about every other thing, thinking about what he feels is good for you. But a counselor would ask you, you would tell the counselor what you've been through. He will not guess. He or she will not guess or assume that, oh, since you said this must have. No. You will reveal everything to the counselor. The counselor would step by step walk you through why it has been so, why it may need to change, why it may need to continue, the advantage of what has been happening to you. You may think it's bad, but you actually need to go through it for you to get better, for you to get to a place, and then come out on the other side. But a clergy will just give you an instruction. This is what to do. A counselor will diagnose you. A counselor will help you see what is wrong, how it started, and what needs to be done.
Okay.
With your own help.
Nice. Now, if you were not a therapist, say now you are financially okay for the rest of your life, and you did not have to do this, what would have been your, what would you have, done with your life professionally?
I most likely will be a nurse because I just love to take care of people. I want to make sure people are you okay? Are you fine? Are you sure? And that's more, you can see that in the gynecology of counseling. We take care of people. We want to make sure it's a help work. It's a help profession.
So about empathy and stuff.
Yeah.
Good. Now, I know you're based in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And even foreigners know that Lagos, to be specific, is hectic. It's like living in London, but worse version of it. What do you do outside of work that helps you maintain a healthy, well-balanced life? Sleep.
Yes. I sleep. I mind my business. I don't put myself under unnecessary pressure. Like I do what I can do and I leave the rest.
But life in Lagos can be filled with pressure on its own. By the time you get stuck in traffic for 4 hours daily, every day, then you get home and your neighbor's generator exhaust is directly in front of your window like this. So, like, how do you manage to?
I put on my own generator too. I shut the window
fire for fire
to reduce the noise. Play some cool music and sleep. My dear brother, you must learn how to sleep in Lagos. Because what people do actually is, so I get home after day also and I'm really tired, like I'm really, really, really tired, like I'm really, really, really tired. You should just go to the bed. Even when you don't go out, probably I've been having clients online all day and it's time for me to get that rest, And then I can remember, a friend of mine said, there's somebody's party, we have to be there, we have to go, we must go because it's our friend. So I need to start preparing, what am I going to wear? And then I start, I put myself first. First of all, I mind my business. One thing, not knocking on my door.
They say drink water and mind your business.
I want anything not knocking on my door personally, and it comes second. I sleep. You have to learn how to sleep in Lagos as much as you can, whenever you can. Of course, there's time to work, there's time to go out, there's time to even working from home. Working remotely is also going on in Lagos. So I, as a counselor, sometimes a week I'm working online all through because clients are in their base and they just want to stay there and talk to you online. So when you are done, you are fatigued. You just want to rest. But some people would not rest. Yeah. They just feel I have to do this thing. If I don't do that, they will abuse me. They will say
I have to link up.
I have to. I must. And it's not actually a must. Because if you don't put yourself first, if you don't get that rest, and you go shuffling around, going to all these places that you think, oh, I have to be there. They say I must, we all have to be there. Oh, somebody's going to be there. If I'm not there, they are going to, and I'm going to be missing. You will come knocking down.
How about family too? When it comes to putting yourself first, does that
make a
apply
list
to
of
family?
priorities? Make a list of priorities. I keep a tab on all of my family members as much as I can. They know I love them. They know I'm there for them. They know if they need anything, they can always call on me or ask me of it. But when I cannot do that, I'm not ashamed to say, can I get back to you on this? Can you give me some time, or can I talk to you later? I want to rest, or I would give me an hour, give me till tomorrow or something like that. You need to put yourself first. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You need to get that rest, because when you're LD, that's when you can jump around to be there for anybody. When you're on the sick bed, when you're bedridden, you can't do much for yourself.
They say an empty cup cannot fill another
Honestly.
empty cup. So what do you think? What is something you think people misunderstand about mental health?
Oh, mental health, I'm not sick, I'm okay.
They think when they are physically strong, everything is fine.
And that's a wrong perception. A lot of us, we are traumatized and we don't even know it. Until you get to a counselor's office and you begin to talk and you talk and you talk, and while you're talking, suddenly you're just crying.
They start digging out things.
You just start digging out issues, and then some people burst into a rave of anger, like, that bastard even got me, and they are all over the place sweating and angered just because something was triggered. So we are all traumatized. Mental health issues is not solely when somebody has a psychiatric breakdown.
See, I think you should repeat that for our people watching in Nigeria, because once they hear mental health illness like this, the picture they get is that madman naked on the street of Ibadan, walking around eating food from the gutter.
I mean,
sometimes people with acute depressions have mental health issues. When they say mental health, it just means health regarding your mind. Health regarding your mind. The same way you could have a headache. You could have a headache of the brain and your mind begins to shut down and you are blocked. You don't know what to do. You don't know what decision to make and you are confused. And instead of making the right decision, before you know it, your life is just messed up. Work, you get to work, you can't concentrate. You are. Mental health is not when somebody is roaming the streets. People. A highly traumatized person has mental health issues and needs to talk about it. Sometimes, the talk might just be a session of 4 appointments and the person becomes fine. Because sometimes, for some people, the moment they unburden and unbottle all of those things, they begin to feel better.
We didn't talk about this before because as we were talking, it was coming to my mind that, what do you think the government of Nigeria, of Lagos, how much more do you think they can help? And I'll give you an example. In this country, if you are troubled, like say you're having feelings of killing yourself due to depression or whatever, you can walk in, apart from all those helplines, there's something I'm getting to now. You can walk into any hospital, accident and emergency or urgent care, and say, look, I want to put myself in. I've been having suicidal thoughts. And what they'll do, they'll triage you, get you to sit in front of a clinician, who will then discuss. Remember, that clinician is not a therapist, okay? But if you need a therapist, 9 out of 10 times you have to pay out of your own pocket, and it's expensive. Yeah. So I have been saying in past, on past episodes that look, I think another thing the government can do to further help people in regards to mental health issues is to probably subsidize, when it comes to going to a therapist and stuff like that. And I know back home it's worse. Yeah. Apart from the fact that not many people actually understand what seeing a therapist means and stuff like that, the few who understand have to pay out of pocket. So how much more do you think the Nigerian government can actually help?
So the government is just starting to pay attention to that area. Because before now, all we have is a psychiatric hospital. And you don't even find
regular people with trauma, with acute depression go there. You only find people who have nervous breakdown, complete nervous breakdown, psychosis going in there. They don't even go in there. People have to rush them there on emergency, and then
they call it Arrow in Abeokuta.
And then they are admitted. There's Arrow in Abeokuta. There's about 2 in
by left side.
So at the moment the government is trying to pay attention to it, but it can be faster and better. When I say faster and better is, at the moment, if you call any helpline that seem to be for accidents, emergencies, and all of that, you might not get a swift response because it doesn't look like, it doesn't threaten them anyway. So it's not something that gets quick response in Nigeria at the moment. But state by state, for instance, Lagos State is beginning to have, in Alasa there's a center for this. So it's merged up because, like I said, they are just coming to that awareness, because we should have like a whole facility, a whole structure, a whole system. Mental health, counseling, advocacy. You can walk into this facility and you will get help. We don't have that yet, but it looks like something the government is waking up to and warming up to do. So I would love that. We have in Nigeria a walk-in center. We don't even have helpline. It's now companies,
they don't even have enough
organizations like my school
to put in that building
and non-governmental organizations that are taking it up. The government itself doesn't have a facility, a system, a structure for it yet, but thankfully we have some mental health organizations, NGOs, and like my school, we also have a helpline where people can call in. They probably do 1 or 2 sessions for you for free, after which you begin to pay. But it's just to get people to. Recently we still went to a technology school, Yaba College of Technology in Lagos, in Surulere, to have this awareness for students. Like, there's a place you can call in if you need help. There's a place you can reach out to if you need help. So, private organizations are doing bulk of the work now, but we are hoping that the more we make noise about it, it will get to the right ears, in government, and proper structure will be put in place, proper systems, that can outlive tenures of whatever government, such that people can have, a place to at least call or walk into.
Without breaking any, I don't know if you guys have GDPR laws or policies. Can you tell me about a patient that has really touched your heart?
I have many of them.
Not too long.
The one that comes to mind first is I work in collaboration with hospitals as well. Okay. Some hospitals, would have me as their in-house therapist, but I don't have an office there. Once they have a patient, I go in to work with them. So there was this patient I was called in for. She just got one of her feet amputated, and she was suicidal, and she's of an older age. They thought they were going to lose her because she was all bent, and when I saw her, it touched me. It really touched me. And when I began working with her by the second session we were having together, I was amazed at how quickly her spirit was lifted, and she was willing to live again. She was willing, to give life a chance again. And I would never, ever, ever, ever forget that woman in a hurry. I'm glad she made it, and I'm glad she made that decision to give life a chance. And she's doing really well. I still spoke to her, before I traveled.
Good. So if you could turn back the time and have a chat with your 18-year-old self, what would you tell her? What would you tell her?
I would say, don't be in a hurry to grow up. Yeah, because then we're like looking forward to 20s and the 21, 22, 23, 25, 30, 40, and here we wish we are 18 again.
Yeah, we wish we are, that's true.
So I would say to her,
don't be in a hurry to grow up. Explore, maximize, this period, gather good experiences, and try to do more things. I didn't do much stuff.
Yeah, but you were only 18.
I didn't do much stuff. I have a couple of 18-year-old friends then that way.
I have 3 loaded questions for you.
Ooh.
Yep. 1, what's the most important thing you've learned in your life? Okay. 2, what was your life like before learning it? And 3, what was your life like after learning it?
So I would say the most important thing I've learned in life is to fight for your peace. Not just do all you can to get peace, but fight for it.
Fight for your
Sometimes
peace.
you need to fight for it. Sometimes you need to fight for it. It's your life, it's your peace, an inner peace. When you're by yourself, that peace that only you can describe. Fight for it. Have it at all cost. No police is going to arrest you for doing that.
I like that answer. When I hit my 40s, I began to hear myself saying it more and more to people everywhere I went. That look, all I want is peace of mind. And then I realized that why didn't I ever, see things that way? For us growing up from where we came from, money was always number 1 because you're always thinking of your financial security and all that. But then you get to a point in your life where it's peace of mind, followed by actually good health, followed by money. You get what I'm saying? There are people who live in the ghetto, in the slum, in the trenches, as we call it, and they have peace of mind.
Yeah.
You see them; they already know what life, where they are in life. So they are making the best of what life has dealt them. So for me, I just think peace of mind above all else, which is why I like that answer. So what was your life before that, and what has your life been like after you've come to that realization that peace of mind is?
So life before that was me scrambling all around the place. I wanted to be what I am not wired for, what I'm not called for. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be known. I wanted to belong. I wanted to be able to say, oh, I'm with this person. We are together. I was everywhere.
Click and crew.
I was everywhere. And when you are trying to be everywhere, you'll be dissipating energy. You'll be growing weaker. You think you are getting older, but you're actually growing weaker. And for me, I got my fingers burnt a couple of times, and I just.
And you learn from those things
too. Came to a point. I'm like, yeah, me. What's going on with you? What's going on? What do you actually want? What has life given you? What can you make out of it? So you lack energy. You are weaker. You are less stronger than you should be. Actually, you are less productive when you are scrambling everywhere. When you are all over the place. You see this person's business thriving, you jump into it and let me also try.
To be fair, quite a lot of people are like that, to be honest. You just want to try everything.
Well, it works for some people,
you go with the
majority,
bandwagon.
It doesn't go with them
because it's not jumping on the bandwagon.
Somehow you are just not wired for it. You find out that when you go into it, you waste money, you waste time, you waste resources, you waste your energy, you waste time, and when you waste time, you waste life.
That's true.
I mean,
brings me to my next question. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Right now, now you've come to all your realizations and you're in the space you want to be in life. But if you could change one thing about your own personal self, what would it be?
Can I change that I'd be 18 years old? Can I?
Yeah, but you're not old now.
No,
you're not old. You're not old now. You look lovely. You are not that old. You're not old. I don't see you as an old person. I don't see myself.
I'm old in age, but I'm not old in appearance. If there's anything like that, but
yes, I don't see myself as an old person, and I'm older than you.
Well,
although I'm clinging to my teenage years somehow. But actually, yeah. Okay. If you could remove barriers and constraints, what projects would you do? And would you want to be known as? What project would you want to be known as? Championing.
Okay, so I wrote it down a long time ago that I would like to have shelter solace. I gave it a name that time. I think I wrote bed and breakfast, but I'm not sure that's what it would be.
though.
I'm not sure that's what it would be now. But I just wanted a solace, to create a shelter solace for the homeless or people. Sometimes some people are homeless not because they don't have families or relatives or even work, but the challenge of life comes to their table, and just at about that time they are homeless. They don't have a roof over their head. So I still think about it a lot of the time. That
homelessness is a big issue all over the world.
I would love to have that. In Lagos is worse.
Oh yes, of course.
That's why you have people sleeping on the streets,
yes, of course,
under the bridge, in the police on a stall made for police to walk while they're on the road. People sleep right inside. So it's a project that is dear to my heart, and God willing, when I'm able to, I'm still going to do it, to provide a shelter solace for people. And more so, not just the shelter that, okay, come and sleep and live your life. No, we have that,
like hostels,
that bed for them to sleep. And then we have a system in place where we counsel them, we help their mental health through that phase, to help them stabilize and empower them to go back to the society and have a proper life. So that project may work like you have people come in and they just spend maximum 3 months and they are back living a normal life. They are empowered. They probably have a job or a skill set, and they can now afford to rent a place of their own.
Sometimes what people just need is just that little bit of help.
That solace
it's never there.
Of peace and harmony for them to come together to their self and say, okay, this is where I am. I get help, people helping me to think through my clumsy head, and then in a matter of time you are helped to also get a job or get a skill, and then processes to help people get back into the society, and then it doesn't even look like they've ever been to a shelter place before. They are back into the society, and they are also able to now contribute to helping other people too,
paying it forward and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Yemi, what's your tip for making the world a better place?
Can we just love one another genuinely? Can you be your brother's keeper? Can you be your neighbor's keeper? I know it can be tough sometimes, because when you're even trying to love some people, they frustrate you. Like, hey, what's your business? What's your business with my life? But it takes patience, and that's one of the characteristics of genuine love. I mean, love rules the world any day, anytime. Love wins over war.
When you love someone, you can afford to be kind to them. So
love
when we
wins
are kind to each
over
other,
war.
and all that
I
stuff.
mean, kindness is an attribute of love. You cannot love someone and not show them kindness. You can't be greedy towards somebody you think you love. No. When you love people, you want to make sure they are fine. They have everything they need. You don't steal from somebody you loved. When you steal from somebody, you don't love that person. When you steal from a system, from an organization, you don't love that organization. When you lie and falsify figures and you make
that would
money
mean
fly,
that most Nigerians don't love each other.
Genuine love.
That's
I'm
all
talking
I'm
about,
I'm just saying.
real compassion, real love. Saying, I'm not going to do this to you because I don't want you to do it to me. Don't do unto other people what you don't want them to do to you. Love genuinely. Be kind. Be patient. You cannot love somebody overnight. It takes time. You want to be patient with this person. Why are you? It looks like the person is slow, but you want to have that patience to say.
Look, I ask Sky this all the time. Why are you the way you are? Let me understand, so I know how to deal with it.
I mean, we're different. Please. We're unique and dynamic in our individuality.
Yes, we are.
I'm not going to compare myself to you, because I'll be doing myself that harm, because you are wired differently, your temperament is different from mine, your persona is different from mine, your hobbies, your likes, your dislikes. As our faces are different, so is our dynamism. So when you love somebody, you love that dynamism. You can help them, you can correct them, you can, but let it be in love. But don't tell me you love me when you're stealing from me. That's not possible.
Okay, now moving on. I've asked you quite a series of serious questions, so let's go to the lesser serious ones. Okay.
Bring it on.
All right. What's the strangest thing in your refrigerator?
Toothbrush.
Toothbrush. The strangest.
Yeah.
Okay, you keep your toothbrush in your fridge.
Sometimes.
Oh. Okay, that's weird. That's a new
What
one.
does that do exactly?
Yeah, that's the thing, because I've not heard that before.
I just like the cool feeling sometimes.
Okay, so that you know what, I'll probably try it. You know,
You should try it.
just to see, because it has to not winter.
You
Not
won't want to do that
not
to yourself.
Yeah. So let me ask this question before we go. What do you think I should have asked you in regards to your profession that I have not asked?
If I had a counselor myself.
No, you know, you said that before when we started. You said that's why therapists also have their own therapist. So do you have one?
Yes, I do. I have plenty.
So your own counselor will have their own
I have
counselor
therapists.
too. Ooh.
Yeah.
See, somebody hearing that now will think, this woman's problem is menu. For you to have like Avengers assembly of therapists.
We are like bottles. We take things in. There's no lid underneath that anything passes. So
it's just
you can't
in there.
burden yourself with every other person you hear this.
I like that analogy.
You have to pour back.
And you know, people say
out.
that a knife cannot sharpen itself. A candle cannot.
So I've got therapists that I can ring at any time. That I have appointments.
You know, you said this thing, the thing I thought of is, you know, when in university days, what men then used to do, they still do it now, is they used to have girlfriends. So one for food, one is for food,
one for drink,
one is for money. When you are going back home, one is for one thing, one is for one thing. You know, so you have therapists.
Yeah.
I don't encourage it to. I'm just observation. I'm just saying. You know. So 2021 has come and gone, and what lessons have you learned from 2021 that you think we can all apply to make 2022 a better year?
So let's get more to action. I did a lot of procrastination myself in 2021, and I'm just carrying it over into 2022 because I know there are things I have to get done. There are things that will make me also become a better person, become a better individual in the society, become a better professional. So I have to carry it over. So if you have to carry anything over from 2021 into 2022 such that you can still achieve them, you can still get them done. The accolade is for your mental health also. When you do it, you give yourself a thumb up, like, oh yes, I nailed this. Also on to the next. It doesn't have to be anything big, it doesn't have to be anything expensive, but when you say to yourself, I would like to do this, I would like to achieve this thing, I would like to pursue this thing, don't just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. If it will work for you to write it down, paste it on a paper and stick it on your wall so that you see it, the more you see it, the more it reminds you of it, then do that. And if it's something that you need to make contacts, make inquiries, just go for it. There's a lot of power within us. We carry so much energy, we carry so much positivity, we carry so much capacity in us that when we can think it, we can do it.
Wonderful. Now, a very important one. Let people know your social media handles, spell them correctly, and we will also take information about your service so that we can put it on the screen for people to see. If you look at the bottom of your screen now, you can see Yemi's social media handles and stuff on there. I think your Instagram is Oluwayemi.
Yeah, I am Oluwayemi.
Wonderful.
Because that's who I am.
Wonderful. So what's the next big thing? What's your plan going forward?
Because of COVID experiences, we are still working remotely, but I'm open on authoring another book and just touch more lives. For me, even if I drop dead today, I want people to remember me and remember my impact in their life, no matter how small. I want to be remembered for the impact, for the significance, that I lived in my lifetime. So I want to author a book. I'm looking at opening my website, but because I'm on a platform already, so I don't want to have.
Too many.
I want to be able to be committed to wherever I am. So I'm looking at that, but most importantly, I want to be able to. I do a lot of pro bonos, and it's because of my compassion. I just feel that sometimes this person needs this help, and truly they cannot afford it. How do we help? So we come up with a plan of how to help. Of course, because we also have to pay bills, we just can't help
of course,
everybody and anyone at every time. So we put structures in place. So I want to be able to impact more lives, help more people recover from whatever they are going through. It's a walk of progress. It's a walk of progress. And of course we implore people to also come and be determined whenever they come. Don't come and just refuse to talk or refuse to be open.
So as we round up, do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to my school, ADI, Attitude Development International. It's an amazing place to learn about psychotherapy and counseling. I also want to give a shout out to my mentor, Mr. Shegun Matthew, Dr. Timi Oyebode, Counselor Fumilayo Onodipe, many people. To my sister, Counselor, Mira, Michelle, love you guys.
You sound like, when it's Christmas time in Lagos, NT Channel 7, and they'll do Christmas grotto. And I'm my mommy and daddy. As we round up, if you have any questions you feel that we didn't ask Oluwayemi here, just, you know what to do, drop your comments under the video, let us know, and we will send them to her. As we round up the episode, Yemi, thank you for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And in the future, we look forward to seeing you here again.
Yes.
Hope you will eat our call if we blow that trumpet, okay? So, as we end the episode, I'll leave you all with this. I saw something really nice on Twitter by some guy called Ren Sean. And he said, before I could manage my emotions, I had to accept my emotions. Before acceptance, I had to identify my emotions. Before identifying, I had to acknowledge my emotions. Before acknowledgement, I had to be honest with myself. And this took work. Till we see you again in the next episode. It's been the More You Look podcast. My name remains Femi Anthony. Be kind to each other. Shout.